Hello, hi, my name's Ren, and today I am back to present you with a little sketchbook tour. This bad boy has been waiting for quite a while, so let's not waste any more time and just get on into it. Yeah, this one's from last year. It took me half a year from May to November to finish this. And yeah, if you've been around, this might seem familiar to you. I think I recorded me starting the sketchbook because I was like, oh, I'm so excited, new sketchbook. I'm sure I have defeated burnout once and for all, and then I immediately crashed again. So, it's going great. Or it was going great at the time. But yeah, my OC, Amaranthia, whom I love, she's kind of my oldest character, depending on how you count it. And she's like my comfort zone. I love drawing her. She's got everything, man. And oh yeah, this is a great time to mention that this sketchbook, at least the first half of it, is full of Pokemon drawings. I've talked about this in a previous video, but I was doing a little self-imposed challenge where I was doing basically a Pokemon drawing every day for a year, and this is covering the last few months of that project. Look at this little Oddish. I love him. Yeah, no, I go in detail on that in a different video if you care to hear about it, but just be prepared. There's a lot of Pokemon in here. Little Vileplume. And I was once again haunted by the specter of hubris. I don't really draw architecture a lot. I don't draw a lot of buildings. I barely draw backgrounds as it is. And I was visiting a friend and I had some time. I was like, you know what? Why don't I just draw these buildings here? Forgetting that they were Baroque buildings, which, if you're not familiar, very detailed. They have a lot of playful little details and it's all very intricate, like the worst thing to start on when you don't do that a lot. So as you can see, I gave up halfway through. So that was great. No, it was fun, but yeah, I did not finish that. And then I just drew a very normal looking bridge, which I did finish because it was very easy comparatively. More Oddish. I love this little guy. He's so charming. And while I was visiting that friend, I also drew their Stardew Valley character, which I know nothing about Stardew Valley, but I do love drawing my friends' characters, so that's that. More Oddish. And of course, it could not be one of my sketchbooks without some brush pen animals. I love doing these. These are very fun to me. Some little pine martens. This might just be a weasel and not a marten. Little mouse and a little wolf, because I do love those as well. And then there's more Pokemon, of course. Here I broke out my Posca markers. I really like them. In case you're not familiar, Posca are acrylic-based paint markers. So it's basically just acrylic paint in a pen, which makes it much easier to use. And I really like using them, and this paper is really good for them. This is Bristol paper, so it's very smooth, but also thick. And I should use them more. I just keep forgetting that I have them because they're in a box somewhere, so I don't see them. And then I forget because I have the brain of like a vaguely intelligent snail. More Oddishes, and then I was done with drawing Oddishes and moved on to drawing my favorite little plant dinosaurs, whose English names always escape me when I try to talk about it. I always played Pokemon in German because I'm German, obviously, and as a kid, you don't play your games in different languages. But, oh yeah, Chikorita, Bayleaf. I love Bayleaf so much in Meganium. Bayleaf was my absolute favorite when I was a child. I was obsessed with Bayleaf. I was a big Bayleaf fan. I was truly bamboozled when I started going online more as like a teenager and adult and saw that there's a bunch of people in like online Pokemon fandom who fucking hate Chikorita and Bayleaf and Meganium, and I'm like, what do you mean you hate them? They're so cute. They're just little plant dinosaurs. How could you not love them? It's unbelievable to me. I do not understand the mind of those people, and I don't want to because I love my little guys. Well, we're taking a little break from Pokemon. I was having a productive day, I suppose. As always, these are some portrait studies from Pinterest. Got a huge pin board full of hundreds of like reference photos that are not, I'm trying to diversify them, but they're not like, it's Pinterest, so obviously it's mostly like headshots of attractive people. You know how it goes. But yeah, no, I love doing these. These are very chill to me. And this was the start, in this sketchbook at least, the start of me figuring out the visuals of some of my own characters. I've spent the last year and a half kind of working on a novel I started in NaNoWriMo, and when there are two different ways I can start on my original characters. Either I start from visuals and then like add a more character, or when I come from more of the writing perspective, I write them and then I have to figure out how to draw them the same way as if I were doing fan art for a different book series that does include visuals. So yeah, these are also characters from that book. I always take a while to figure that out because it's like the vibes must be right. Even if I have strong ideas on how they should look, it still takes me a while to figure out how to get those vibes correct and how to find a way to comfortably draw them like repeatedly. He's perfect. My favorite Chikorita I drew. And also Posca Pens again. This was super fun. This is also one of my favorites I did here. Pokemon are so great for Posca Pens because they're so simple and it's not weird if you have like very bold lines and shadows. I just love Pokemon. Okay, leave me alone. And of course, more brush pen animals. This time bird edition, and I had to have round birds. I love round birds. The rounder, the better. The orb is the perfect shape. Is all I'm saying. More Chikorita and everyone else. I love doing these where it's like you swap around the sizes of different ones. So we have a giant Chikorita and everyone else is tiny. I also just love drawing connections of Pokemon where one is very big and everyone else is like climbing all over them. It's very cute to me. So I love doing it. More very quick doodles. I was trying a lot of different things during like my daily Pokemon drawings. Like you can tell, some days I was not in the mood to do a lot, and then other days I was going ham, man. This is also one of my favorite drawings here. It's so cute. And also it's very funny, you can tell when there's a lot of sleepy Pokemon, usually this happens when I'm also very tired. And then I just draw them sleeping as well because I'm like, you know what I would rather be doing right now? Snork me. But yeah, then my Bayleaf time was up and I was doing the evolutions. This was my final month of drawing Pokemon every day. And I was like, oh, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to do the evolutions because they're all cute. It's going to be fun. And then during the month, I came to the realization that I really like Eevee, but I don't really love most of the evolutions that much. Obviously, I like the classics, but the newest ones, I have beef with those. I do not like them. But yeah, Vaporeon was always my favorite as a kid. I love Vaporeon. It's so cute. There's a distinct trend in my favorites. So I love a lot of water Pokemon. This is not an exception. It's just cute. I love fish. I love a catfish. But yeah, Flareon. A lot of these I used cat photos for reference because I love looking at cat photos, and also Eevee especially, and some of the other evolutions are very cat-coded to me. I mean, look at Espion and tell me this is not a cat. It's so clearly a cat. This is also one of my favorite drawings. I love Espion, and there is a preponderance of extremely green shiny Pokemon, and most of the time I'm like, dude, why is he just green? Can't we do anything else? The same way there's a lot of extremely pink shiny Pokemon. But I do say I have a soft spot for the green Espion, just because I see a lot of art of the shiny Espion as like a little alien, because it's like a little green, and sometimes they give it antenna, and I just think that's very cute, so it won me over. I support green SPN now. Also, love Umbreon. It's very, very cute. Soft spot for this guy as well. Also, I had such a blast looking at cat images for this because, in case you don't know, I love cats. They're my favorite animals. But yeah, this is the part where the fun stopped because I got to Glaceon and I was like, they just gave this cat, this fox, this whatever, an anime girl haircut and called it a design. Horrible. Who did this? I hate this. Stop. I don't like this. And I also don't like Leafeon. I think the Leafeon design is extremely lazy. Like, what do you mean the ears just turn into leaves? Look at all the other ones. Like, it's not like Vaporeon is made out of water. Come on, like, do better. And then it has these random, like, bits sticking out of it. I hate it. It makes me madder the more I think about it. And I also don't like Sylveon. I think Sylveon has way too many, like, small details, all those moving ribbons and stuff. It's too much. Sylveon is over-designed and not very cohesive. I hate him too. Oh my god. I have such beef with these three. It's ridiculous. But yeah, then I just stopped thinking about them and just drew Eevees for a while. Oh, this. Yeah. In the summer, I went on a little trip with a friend of mine. That was planned to do like a lot of like we were going hiking and exploring, but we also, because she draws as well, we were doing a lot of drawing together, and this art is all from that trip. Had to have my brush pen animals. Of course I did. Then one of my OCs, Velia, I can't do a sketchbook without her because she's also like super in my comfort zone. She's one of the main characters of an extremely ambitious comic idea I had when I was a teenager. You know, I was super into webcomics and like manga, and I was like, I'm going to write my own epic, like hundreds of chapter long story, and I'm going to draw it. And at the time, I had not conceptualized that this would require me to A, actually draw a comic, and B, that it would take decades of my life to finish that. And I'm glad I never really seriously got started because, oh my god, I would not want to still be chained to that idea because it was very silly because I made it up when I was a teenager. Yeah, these drawings from life from one of the hikes we went on that trip. It was very fun. This more characters from the novel I'm working on. I'm always a little torn on describing them closer because it's like once I start talking about my characters, you cannot get me to stop. There is so much lore, but I feel like a sketchbook tour is like the worst place for that. I don't want to have like a page open for like 15 minutes because I just can't stop talking. So I usually just leave it a short description, which I'm sure is not very satisfying for people who want to know, but I assume most people are just here to look at the art generally, and they're not here for like a sermon on my OCs, of which there are like about 100 at this point. Yeah, more of my OCs, Lucifer and Pearl, and another drawing from life. Look at me. Going with simple architecture this time. Actually, this was a preliminary sketch because I wanted to draw the whole thing in watercolor as well. Let me get that. Yeah, here it is. I am really happy how this turned out. It really makes me want to do more plein air watercolor painting, like just painting more from life, because I had a really good time doing this, but I also think I would not have had nearly as good a time if I hadn't done this sketch before and been like, okay, let's first figure out how all of this looks before we jump in with paint. Right. More drawings from that trip. More of my OCs, Cassandra and Grace. They're in what I lovingly like to call my evil women's club. Have a bunch of characters who are basically just kind of like the evil equivalent of magical girls, because I support women's rights, but more importantly, I support women's wrongs, especially fictional women's. But anyway, yeah, I love them. Also, they're gay as fuck. Of course, they're my characters. What a statement. Zan is also part of the Horrible Women's Club. The basic concept for her is like, you know, what if it was a frat boy, but as a lesbian? So, yeah, lesbian fuckboys, and I love her too. And there we have more EVs. Because Eevee isn't based on any specific Pokemon, I was trying to do like different references. Mostly I used cat pictures for the evolutions because I do think they're a lot more cat-coded than Eevee itself. So for these, I think I was going for, these look like foxes. Yeah, I think I know exactly what image this is from. And then I was also trying bunny references for Eevee because I was like, you know what? The big ears, a little bunny coated. But yeah, you can tell with the floppy ears. I love the floppy ear bunnies. I think they're very cute. I say as if not all bunnies are very cute. But yeah, more Eevee. It's having a very this is, I think, one of my favorite Eevee drawings I did. It's just got so much personality, like the energy. I love this guy. It's my favorite. My favorite little guy. And then I was running out of ideas because I was only drawing Eevees and none of the evolutions for like 20 days. So I was like, okay, what kind of moves can Eevee learn? And did like some drawings vaguely inspired by that. And then I remembered that I own a bunch of Copic markers and decided to do a little Eevee with markers. And as you might be able to tell, some of these markers were dying the entire time while I was doing this. This pink was so fucked. But you know what? I tortured it and I finished it. And that's all that matters. It's actually surprising how many of the markers still work because I bought most of them like 10 plus years ago. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, this is the last we'll see of Pokemon for a while. This was the penultimate day of the challenge, and then I was done. So there's going to be a lack of Pokemon going forward. Of course, I had to do some brush pen studies this time of more plant matter, which I also like a lot. A lot of these don't look great, but the important part is that I had fun while making them. And I also love breaking out my text markers for the background. You have to be careful though, because you can see it here. Some pens, and like my brush pen too, need to dry for a while before you can like go over them with marker unless you want it to smear. Because I don't know what they put in text markers, but they reactivate ink way more than other pens I have. Anyway, more studies from Pinterest. I love doing these because often they look fine. They don't look like the reference, but that's not important. The important part is that they look okay and no one can know that it's actually not at all hitting the likeness. But that's not important. Yeah, more... Of course. More of my OCs. They were all from the same stories. They're like a little crew of paranormal investigators, which is it becomes more of a comedy bit because Jay is possessed by a demon. So that's part of the investigations. Will and Ophelia. I just love these. They're very cute. I love drawing them in like chibi style. They're just simple little guys. I think these are studies of Pinterest with my character, more trying to figure out looks of characters from my novel, and some hands. I decided to give one of my characters a smoking habit, which obviously we all know smoking is very bad for you and it smells terrible, but the visuals are not so bad. Sometimes they're actually pretty good. So I was drawing some smoking hand gestures from reference and then doing more faces from Pinterest. I do love doing these. They're so chill to me. I don't have to think about anything. I can just draw whatever's there. And the titular character with the smoking habit. It's my OC Max. They used to be my character in a campaign I was playing with friends. And then I decided to take them out of the campaign and just like play with them on my own time. They're just a little guy. I love drawing them. My little idiot. And it was crazy. I think in 2024 we had several Friday the 13th. And this was, I think, the one in October. And of course it was Friday the 13th in October. I had to draw black kitties. They're so cute. These all look terrible, but that's not important. The important part is that I had fun while doing it. More studies from Pinterest. These were actually more focused because I was trying to get some reference and inspiration on how to draw some fan art for my favorite book series, which there's a lot of that in here, starting with here. Yeah, I think I'm also not going to go super in-depth on this because honestly, who even cares? I mean, I care, but I assume you don't really. These are all characters from The Invisible Library. I mean, this is all the same character by Genevieve Cogman. It's basically my favorite book series. I love it a lot, and I love the characters, and I love drawing them. Anyway, this is Max again, and as a cat boy. And characters from the other players from the campaign, because they're a matched set. Now they're all kitty cats. But yeah, oh, I forgot I did this. My memory not ideal. I will say that. After I finished my year of drawing Pokemon, I was like, I actually kind of liked having a monthly theme to what I was drawing. And because I love color and I've enjoyed Huevember whenever I did it, I was like, let's make the new theme color. Let's pick a big color group and just work with that for the month. So first, I went with pink because I have a ridiculous amount of different pink pens. So I was like, yeah, let's just get into it. Let's just do pink. A number of my characters who have pink hair, so had to. Of course, Amaranthia is here. She's my favorite. No, I shouldn't be picking favorites, but she is my favorite. More Invisible Library fan art. There's a good chunk of that in here because I love it. And I've been rereading the books, so I've been thinking about the characters quite a bit more. And some more bunnies. You can also tell this, like I did the base with the text markers, so like the basic sketch, and then went over it with the pen. But you can tell that text marker was fucking dying by the end too. Which, on the one hand, that's kind of sad, but I do feel good when it turns out I've used something I bought so much that I actually managed to use all of it. So it doesn't feel like I wasted my money on, stuff I don't even use. More of my characters, Amaranthia and her friends. Again, we were in pink month, so everything is very pink. More me figuring out how to draw the characters from the Invisible Library. Yay. Oh, and more drawing from life. I was visiting a friend and we were doing some touristy activity. We were visiting a city near where they live, and we did some drawing from life. As you can see, I didn't finish this. Also went with some more easy architecture this time around. I really like how these turned out, but it was very cold and I had gotten very sick at the time, so we were like, you know what, let's break for now and go eat some ramen, and the ramen was very delicious. I had a great time there. More of my OCs. I love drawing chibis. They're so quick and easy, and I love drawing my OCs. This is like an extremely indulgent spread. I love my little guys. I love that they're all, like, originally they're all powerful demons, but of course, because I'm like this, I put them all in like a college AU where they can be chill and gay in college, and everything's nice and fun. So these are like my little gay college kids. Okay, more of me drawing characters from my book. I love drawing them when I'm just thinking about the story. These are all based on reference, so I didn't even have to think of poses. And as you can tell, one of these is not like the others, which is because in the middle of this, I lost this pen. And I was like, oh, this pink's almost the same, isn't it? It's not. It looks so jarringly different. I'm so mad. And then I found it again, and I was debating whether I wanted to still keep going with this. So I was like, two of this. But then I don't know how well you can tell, but this one was also dying. So, I was like, yeah, sure, let's just go back to the other one. Anyway, I am still salty about this, in case you can't tell, because I'm normal. And then a spread dedicated to the perfect, to the eminent Pine Marten. I love Pine Marten so much. If you ever need a boost of serotonin, just take any search engine, type in Pine Marten, and look at images. It'll cure any problem you have. They're so cute. I love them so much. I have so many saved on my Pinterest boards. I just love looking at them. While I was drawing these, I kept getting distracted because I was just clicking through different images of Pine Martens because I love them so much. They're just so creature. I love them. More drawings of the characters from my novel, trying to figure them out more, and just like also drawing random stuff from reference, some drama for my dramatic mind. And then the pink time was over, and next I went for blue, and as you can tell, I immediately had a bad time. And I was like, we need to redact half of this page. Let's just not think about it. It's not real. It didn't happen. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's nothing there in the background. Don't even worry about it. More headshots of the characters from my novel. Again, like while I'm writing or like while I'm getting in the mood for writing, I just like to think about the characters and then I just end up drawing, random portraits because that's also what I normally do when I just think about my characters. And I'm still, for a number of them, I'm still at the phase of trying to figure out how exactly I want to draw them, like getting some practice in so that the next time I draw them, they still look the same and not like an entirely different guy. Because that totally doesn't happen to me all the time still. Anyway, more Pinterest studies. I'm really, really proud of these because as you can see, there are no like guidelines in most of these. I still had some here, but then I stopped. And I'm really proud of how all of these turned out because, I mean, I could be lying, but I'm not. I didn't use any like underdrawings that I then erased. I just went straight in with my pen and then added some like shading with marker. And I love how this page turned out. I'm really, really happy. I could not have made them look this normal and good like a few years ago. It's a proof of my artistic growth to me. And now we're back to drawing a few Pokemon for my mental health because I love them. Quagsire and Klotz are like my number one all-time favorite, and Wooper is not far behind. Mudkip is also one of my absolute favorites. I just love them. They're so cute. They're so silly. They just make me happy. And of course, we had to do more brush pen animals. My favorite, of course, because he is the roundest of the bunch. A random doodle and this page, man. I am very happy with how it looks now. I'm very proud of that. However, this character does not have a blue color scheme. Her color scheme is mostly like dark reds, like peony, like dark pinks, even a little bit of purple. But the blue is not her thing at all. So I was constantly fighting my brain that was like, no, this is the wrong color. And I was having a much harder time than it needed to be. And that was also a moment where I was like, you know what, maybe the 1 month of one color is not actually ideal for me personally. And, oh yeah, some more fan art, very rare. I was watching Winx Club Season 3 with a friend of mine. And depending on your familiarity with Winx, you might be aware of this or you might just not know, but the Winx art style is very stylized and the girls look fine, but all the men look terrible. They are done so dirty by the art style. It is actually incredible. It is so funny. Their faces are so fucked up. Anyway, this is the villain of the season, and the narrative treats him as if he's very attractive, but the visuals of the show do not get this across. So while we were watching, I was trying to draw him and trying to figure out how to make him look not like fucked up little freak the way he does in the show. These are more studies from Pinterest. More Pinterest stuff, this time kitty cats, because I do love a good kitty cat. Who doesn't love a good kitty cat? And of course, more Invisible Library fan art because I am nothing if not predictable. Again, I've been rereading the book, so I've been thinking about these characters a lot. And because that went so well, I was thinking about drawing fan art of a different book series, but I absolutely hate this page because this looks absolutely wrong. I don't like this at all. I haven't figured out. The vibes are entirely off, so I like to not think about it. And because that was so traumatic to me, I went back to doing Invisible Library fan art because I am normal. The most normal, some might even say. Yeah, and because drawing men from reference without like guidelines and just jumping in with a pen worked so well, I was trying the same for women. Worked a little less well, but still mostly okay. But I do like the spread less than the other one, which is rare. And then we have more Pokemon. Broke out my Posca pens again. I love these guys. I love my little noodles. They're so cute. Who doesn't love a worm who's also a dragon? They're so cute. More character ideas for the novel. And I really love this. This is the last spread in the book. Again, the characters from my novel. I was going for like an epic cover or poster kind of vibe, and I'm so happy with it. This is absolutely my favorite spread. Well, spread, like, this page is empty, but the negative space is important, okay? We're going to pretend the negative space has meaning, and it's not just because, I was like, I don't know what to put there. But yeah, no, I'm so happy with this. Again, I was still keeping with the blue, but I wanted to differentiate the characters a little, so he's getting a little bit more green. This is a bit more neutral blue, and this is more purplish. But yeah, no, this was a blast. I had a really good time in this sketchbook for the most part, except when I was drawing the evolutions that I hate. But yeah, I hope you had a good time. And as always, I would love to hear if you have a favorite spread and, of course, which one it is. And yeah, that's it from me. This took quite a bit, but it is quite a chunky boy. So I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you around.